What's up, guys and gals? It's your host of the most, Griever, as always, bringing you guys the latest piece of live-action One Piece. Episode number 4, the pirates are coming, the pirates are coming, the pirates are coming! Sorry, Usopp, nobody believes you, except Kobe. Kobe believes you. I like the inclusion here of Helmeppo and Kobe and stuff, Garp being involved this early on, things like that. This episode, a two-parter from Syrup Village, and this episode is where it's showcasing that we are really... The episode 3 was doing it, episode 4 is completely deviating from the original arc. In a lot of ways. Some good, some alright, but there is one key thing where automatically that I just got to bring up that we're missing, and I do knock some points off. If I don't get my 1, 2, 3 JANGO, is there any point to Syrup Village at all? At all, I ask you. I mean, yeah, we get the Going Merry. I mean, I'm sure that ship isn't that important. There's no big moments with the Merry at all in this story, really. It's just a ship. It's just a boat. Just a boat. Yeah. And Usopp. Yeah, he joins the crew, but how long is he really going to stick around? Not like there's any emotional investment into Usopp's character whatsoever. No, can't think of any. So, yeah, so realistically, the big thing that we take away from Syrup Village is JANGO. Is 1, 2, 3, JANGO. So the fact that he's gone, I actually don't like. I did miss him. I was hoping he'd be here in the end somewhere. And the fact that he's not there at all. Kuro still doesn't get captured, but we don't get JANGO. Like, I would have been fine with Kuro getting captured at the end of this one by Garp and Kobe and stuff like that. And then we don't get JANGO. I think I'd be happier. The fact that Kuro still gets away, even though it's against his dream. Like, he got sick of being a pirate. He got sick of his name always being, like he's being chased all the time and stuff. And that remains true in this episode as it does in the manga and anime and stuff like that. But here, it's just one of those things where I really like JANGO's character. He was so much fun and stuff like that. Like, cutting out the Usopp pirates is fine. And jumping into the fact that we just add a little bit more with some of the other characters, that's fine too. Mary being killed off adds some more weight. The horror element, the 80s slasher feel to this, that thriller horror element to this episode was mwah. I know we're not to the Barate yet, but mwah, chef's kiss. My compliments to the chef, because this really... It did it very well. If we're going to deviate from Syrup Village and the way it went down, why not just change the entire tone? Why not make it more serious? Thriller Bark if it was taken seriously. Thriller Bark if it was actually scary, right? Instead of Thriller Bark feels more like Halloween Town. Or, well, Halloween Town, the actual movie, or like Night Before Christmas, right? And that shit, right? Jack Skellington's Halloween Town, right? That's what Thriller Bark more or less feels like. There's a lot of gags and horror elements and stuff, but it's still gags. Here is like if Thriller Bark was serious. We're going to add in that little bit of over-the-top bits, a little bit of over-the-top acting, but Kuro does this amazing job just walking through the halls, this menace, this Jason Voorhees, this Michael Myers ass walking through, but he's got the lip. He's got the Miss Kaya, ching 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 ching, Miss Kaya, and then we see the unhingedness of his character. Great acting, and he goes forward, and when he's in the room and stuff, and he's stabbing things, he's like, "Oh, Clahador, would you please get my blankie?" Stab. Just the anger, the resentment, everything's been boiling to this point, and he's unhinged. He's like, just boom, and he's gone. So, I really like that. I like the way they handled this. They do a little bit of a nod to Zoro always being lost a little bit here. He gets up from the well. We do the scene with Zoro, and that pretty much says it was Shimosuke Village. That pretty much doesn't change very much realistically. But it's fine that we saw it. I thought they got it great. They did a good job with that for the most part. Nothing really. It was a little cheesy at times, a little just on the nose and stuff, but it worked. It was fine, and now we get Zoro's backstory, how he has the Watto and stuff like that, right? And he climbs out of the well, and he's like, I was just heading back to the house. I didn't know you were here, pretty much. So we're giving a little nod to the fact that he gets lost, right? And then him and Luffy, of course, Kobe wants to stop them. Kobe going up and believing Usopp at the beginning, and Helmeppo always trying to pull him down, and him saying, the only reason Garp is taking you aside, and he's like, you're just jealous. But Kobe, of course, is still doubting himself and what's going on. And Garp isn't this big, yeah, that's my grandson for you. Like, he's not, he's more intimidating. He's more dangerous. He's got more of a hard presence that we're not seeing, that the carefree Garp. I think they're holding it up till the end of the series. I really do. To the end of the season. I think that's what they're doing, and they're holding it up. But we might see a little bit here now in the next episode, and we'll get to that. But Kobe's starting to doubt himself a little bit here. He's still unsure of himself. Luffy's trying to tell him, listen, I'm going to go back to the house without my friends. Kobe, I know you got a job to do, but I'm doing this. You feel free to try to capture me, but I got to go and stuff. And Kobe, once again, trying to do the respect thing. Helmeppo keeps telling him the only reason he's with you, you're not special. You're just jealous. No, because you're friends with Luffy, that's the only reason Garp's pulling you aside, all this stuff. So I like that storyline. I like that Kobe and Helmeppo, we're seeing a lot more of them, so we'll see their development. Something that I'm sure Oda wanted to do, now knowing that we're sort of following two storylines. We see the evolution of Kobe, we see the evolution of Luffy, and of course on these two different paths. I like that we're implementing Kobe more. We're not just seeing like these cover series, like cover pages. We're intertwining him into the story without taking away the core element that Luffy beats up the main bad guy, Luffy does this, Zoro does that, Nami does this, but still Garp and Kobe and Helmeppo are there for part of the journey. I kind of like that that change up. Another good change is they solidify that Usopp and Kaya are together. That Kaya is pretty much like they have feelings for each other. Usopp's going to come back one day, a brave warrior of the sea, and they're more than likely going to get together and get married, right? Oda has come out and said many times that no romance between the crewmates, no romance whatsoever. So for those Nami, Sanji shippers, I guess, and Frankie Robin is a big one for some reason, the Frankie Robin shippers, it's not going to happen on Oda's watch. However, he doesn't mean that there's not romance outside of that. I'm still holding out that Makino and Shanks 100% there. There's just no question. And a big one is Kaya and Usopp. And here they sort of solidify that. If Oda's fine with showcasing that, then I think he intends by end of series to do it. So it's good that we're sort of starting there. Mary being killed off added more weight, and I'm fine with it. Losing Django once again is And then the Mary. I love the ship. I love the ship design. I do wish it almost feels like the sheep head, the goat head is unfinished though. Like they didn't paint, the eyes. They don't have the black rings for the eyes or whatever, because it just feels all one color, like it's unfinished wood to me, because it doesn't look polished. It doesn't look finished. So I was a little dismayed that they didn't just straight up say, like Usopp was like, you're right, we're almost finished, just got to finish off one last thing. He goes, by tomorrow morning we'll set sail or something like that, and then we see the finished thing, and he's added a little color to the main front here of the ship. So outside of that, I like the design. Like everything looks fine. It just felt like everything's finished, and this is just this big white block here on the front. So granted, does it look more realistic? Maybe, but this is still One Piece, so I thought it'd be fine if we added a little bit more there. The ending scene where the crew is starting to laugh like, I'm the captain, here's my flag, blah blah blah, all that stuff. That was all good. Garp is showing up here at the end with Kobe and stuff. They're attacking Luffy, and then we get the whole Grandpa end of scene. So earlier than I thought, but maybe now we might get a flashback, we might not. But I feel like now is when we're going to get Garp. We're going to see his laughter. We're going to see his joking. I assume that he's going to go over there and he's going to... They better show Garp launching cannonballs, like he did, later on, because we're sort of condensing. We're taking scenes from later parts and we're sort of introducing them now. So I like the idea that the crew is figuring out that he's the grandfather and stuff like that. Like, this is Luffy's grandfather. It's Garp. No one's mentioning, by the way, he's hero of the Marines. No one's calling him the hero, the one who captured. Everyone refers to him as Vice Admiral Garp. He's a Vice Admiral, not the Vice Admiral, like the man. They just say he's a Vice Admiral. no one follows it up so far. Nobody's been following it up with, the guy who captured Goldie Roger, the guy, the hero of the Marines, the Marine, the Uncle Sam of the world government. Nobody's giving him, and I'm a little worried, just a smidge, I'm a little worried that they're going to, for some reason, not downplay Garp for some reason, but they're just, why does nobody know that he's the guy? Clearly nobody's made the connection that he's Monkey D. Garp. People just say Vice Admiral Garp. No one seems to know Monkey D. Otherwise, the Luffy connection would have made sense a while ago to a lot of people, especially people like Nami or Kobe. And it didn't. But I am just curious if they're going to fix that. Is somebody going to acknowledge that he's the one who chased, Gold Roger around the Seven Seas? Is someone going to acknowledge that he's the one, he's the hero of the Marines and stuff? Please don't tell me the live action is going to take away some of Garp's pedigree and epithets and stuff like that. He should be known as the guy, and everyone's just referring to him as a Vice Admiral. He's so much more than that, right? So I just hope that they give him the pedigree and the authority and just the respect that Garp deserves going forward, because the more every scene I see with this actor playing Garp, the more and more I'm liking him, the more I think it's a great, perfect casting choice. I mean, once again, could he have bulked up a little more? Maybe. But I think, the more I see, the more I'm sort of over that. And it's it's not perfect, but it's but he's acting so good that I'm just there for it. So yeah, either way, I'm going to give this episode, I'm going to give it the same, I'm going to give it, I'm going to give it the same as episode 3. So I'm going to give it a 9. And the reason I'm going to give it a 9 is because they took away Django. But I like this episode better than episode 3. I do. I like the pacing. I like the Zoro stuff, of course. I like the Kobe inclusion. I love the horror chase with Kuro and stuff like that. The horror elements there, the bravery and stuff like that going on with Usopp. I really enjoy this version of Usopp's character a lot more. So there's a lot of pluses to the live action version here that we just don't see in the manga or in the anime. So I would give it a higher rating. I would say it's almost as good, but the loss of Django really profoundly, I was like, no. Because we gotta remember, guys, I didn't really care for Syrup Village at the time when I first read it and watched it and stuff. Because it included Usopp. It's the boy who cried wolf story, and I wasn't a huge Luffy fan yet. So I was sitting there like, all right, this is silly, this is dorky, and we're introducing this very annoying, long-nosed, boy who cried wolf character and stuff. So there was very little that I loved, but I loved Django. So call it nostalgia, call it whatever, but the cutting of Django's character, while keeping the other two cats, like the main other two cats, I forget their names, but the big one and the skinny one and stuff, which I don't mind that they gender bent the more feminine looking one, that doesn't bother me. She did a very good job, and the fight with Zoro and the foyer stuff was cool. So that's all good. I just, those two, but no Django, meh, so I would say I like this episode more than episode 3, and it would probably be my favorite episode so far if they had Django. Without Django, I still got to give it to episode 1, so we'll just keep this one as a 9. We'll call it even Steven with that one. So yeah, either way, but if I had to rank them, I'd put episode 4 above episode 3, I think I would. So episode 2 right now is probably my least favorite. They're all great so far, though. 4 episodes, half a season in, and all I have is nitpicks and tidbits and nothing else but praise for what they're doing so far with the live action One Piece. I hope everyone else is enjoying it as much as I am. I have been staying off seeing reviews and stuff because I am being spoiled on, of course, images here and there, thumbnails and stuff. Trying to be as least spoiled as possible because I really want to enjoy it and review each episode and stuff like that. So I haven't really checked out anybody else's thoughts. That's what I'm trying to say. I haven't checked out anybody else's reviews, like Tekking's or King of Lightning's or anybody else's yet, because I want to finish the season just in case of spoilers, and then go back and see what people are saying and blah, blah, blah. So I hope everyone up to this point was enjoying it as much as I am, and I'm really looking forward to episode 5, because I assume this is where we're going to introduce Sanji and Zeph and stuff like that, and that should be really cool, and we know what's coming. We know that Hawkeyes is going to show up. I hope they do him justice. The look from the promotion from the trailer looked awesome, but I hope they showcase his power. Like, I better see this man cut a ship in half with these. I better see this man take Yoro and just, boom, split the Red Sea or something. I gotta see something. He better do something badass, right? Like, I want the weight. I want to see the weight of these characters. Like Garp, we better see the weight of this man hurling cannonballs like it's nothing. And we better see Mihawk cutting some ships down. Like, that's all I'm saying. Either way, hope you guys enjoyed the review. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. What did you think of the big changes here to Syrup Village? Because I would argue that this is the biggest change we've seen thus far, that they've deviated from the manga's original telling. The inclusion of Kobe, the more horror elements, no Black Cat pirates, no Django, Garp being this early, like everything's sort of coming to a close much different than it went down. So, but anyways, I still enjoyed it. Hope you guys did too. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next time.